lies from history teachers coming out the closet, still preaching the same progressive bullshit. But I could say no opposite. Everything you do is opposite. Incompetent, like an academic idiot we've all grown accustomed to live with. I'm bored of it, man. You don't feel our pain. You're the major cause of it. It's what it seems to be. Goes the call all seems haunting. Feeding off envy and jealousy. Arch enemies, ethics and decency. Unethically exposed indecently. Man, if I were you, I'd be sick of me. We're giving up on America's exceptionalism. Losing my patience for this global governance. Spent the sofa squealing like a pig in a deliverance. Let me paraphrase. Here's the meaning of insane. Expect a different outcome. The politicians haven't changed. They're all the same. We have ourselves to blame. Only thing changing are the promises, faces, and names. We're right back where we started from. Where the middle man's patience for this culture of corruption. Tea party has just begun. Take our country back. Take our country back. We're right back where we started from. Where the middle man's patience for this culture of corruption. Tea party has just begun. This tea party has just begun. Where we started from. Where the middle man's patience for this culture of corruption. Tea party has just begun. Come on, let's take our country back. Take our country back, yeah. This tea party has just begun. It's time we take our country back from this culture of corruption.
Fletcher Cobb turned 105 on the day of his last breath. Not one soul paid their respects when they laid him down to rest. A good-for-nothing, cold-hearted bastard, mean old son of a bitch. The last 10 years of his life he spent muttering over and over again. Sometimes we might string you up, sometimes we'll let you drown. The 200 years of lynch mob vengeance, nobody's ever been found. No need to call the law, son, just wait until tonight. Cause we've got our own way of setting things right. Swamp justice. Old Cobb was a bastard son of a backwoods generation. A makeshift judge with a thirst for blood, swift with no reservations. Sent 30 men to their maker with a rope in a bog outside of town. And some say he wore an evil grin while the Blackwater took him down. Saying sometimes we might string you up, sometimes we'll let you drown. In 200 years of lynch mob vengeance, nobody's ever been found. No need to call the law, son, just wait until tonight. Cause we've got our own way of setting things right. Long nights when there's a chill in the air and a blood ring on the moon. A mist will flow through that old bog like spirits on the moon. And they say if you hold real still, close your eyes and listen in, you can hear old Fletcher Cobb muttering over and over again. Sometimes we might string you up, sometimes we'll let you drown. In 200 years of lynch mob vengeance, nobody's ever been found. No need to call the law, son, just wait until tonight. Cause we've got our own way of setting things right. Well, sometimes we might string you up, sometimes we'll let you drown. In 200 years the lynch mob benches, nobody's ever been found. No need to call the law, son, just wait until tonight. 'Cause we've got our own way of setting things right. Swamp justice.
Come to me from your washed out, down and out, lost and found place of make-believe. From your easy chair in the air, Titanic decks are getting wet from icebergs of misery. For a number of years I've been waiting for you to come back home to me. Hold me now in your own light, forget the night, it'll be alright, embrace your destiny. It ain't about the watch and chain, the piper's game, the empty flame that gives you what you need. Seems like oceans of tears I've been crying for you to wake up from this dream. I'm gonna get up every morning to lose what I must win and find another way of living that feels good within my skin. I'm gonna throw away the book of lies that brought me to this place. I'm gonna see myself reflected in the timelessness of grace. I'm gonna tear down every stinking wall I built to keep me in. I'm gonna pledge allegiance to myself and save my only friend from this mountain of fear. I stand bold and in my tracks. When you go through that door, there ain't no turning back from a new earth under you. There's a new earth under you. There's a new earth under me. There's a new earth under you. There's a new earth under me. There's a new earth under you. There's a new earth under me.
Life ain't nothing but a second or two. Life ain't nothing but a second or two. How it turns out is all up to you. Be careful of the things that you say and do. Cause life ain't nothing but a second or two. Life ain't nothing but a second or two. How it turns out is all up to you. Be careful of the things that you say and do. Cause life ain't nothing but a second or two. Life ain't nothing but a second or two. How it turns out is all up to you. Be careful of the things that you say and do. Cause life ain't nothing but a second or two. second or two. How it turns out is all up to you. Be careful of the things that you say and do, cause life ain't nothing but a second or two. Life ain't nothing but a second or two. How it turns out is all up to you. Be careful of the things that you say and do, cause life ain't nothing but a second or two. Life ain't nothing but a second or two. Life ain't nothing but a second or two. How it turns out is all up to you. Be careful of the things that you say and do, cause life ain't nothing but a second or two. Life ain't nothing but a second or two. How it turns out is all up to you. Be careful of the things that you say and do, cause life ain't nothing but a second or two. Life ain't nothing but a second or two. How it turns out is all up to you. Be careful of the things that you say and do, cause life ain't nothing but a second or two.
Dry seek you, my soul it thirsts, and my body longs.
I hear you knocking, but you can't come in. Big bad wolf at my door. I've gone for cover with those I'm bringing. I feel the brick house go on and blow. You say it's all good, well good for you. Go on, leave me well good alone. Your days are numbered, you know it's true. Well, that big face won't heal your soul. I hear you knocking, but you can't come in. Big bad wolf at my door. I've gone for cover with those I'm bringing. I build a brick house, go on and blow. I hear you knocking, but you can't come in. Knock, knocking on my door. I've gone for cover, and now I'm singing. I build a brick house, go on and blow. Everyone kills the one they love. A coward does it with a kiss. I know you read this in your ivy halls, but natural meaning you must have missed. Oh yes you did. I hear you knocking, but you can't come in. Big bad wolf at my door. I've gone for cover with those I'm bringing. I build a brick house, go on and blow. But you can't come in. Knock, knocking on my door. I've gone for cover, and now I'm singing. I build a brick house, go on and blow. I hear you knocking, but you can't come in. Knock, knocking on my door. I've gone for cover, and now I'm singing. I build a brick house, go on and blow. I build a brick house, go on and blow. I build a brick house, go on and blow.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Now it's one God, His Spirit and His Son. And I don't know where all of these religions come from. See, there's people that's trying to edge out God, from your liberal judges to your Hollywood stars. And everybody just going along with it. Y'all need to wake up and just straight quit it, cause that's not the way it's supposed to go. This is Nate Smooth here to let you fools know we have one nation that's under God. And if you don't like it, you can leave tomorrow. Pack your bags and let the doorknob hit ya in the crack of your back where God has split ya. United States was built with God in mind. You act like you got 3 6s on your behind. You can't keep taking God off the scene. Holla amen if you know what I mean.
This is for the haters that's dissing my God. Get ready cause your life about to get hard. And you can call the other haters on the phone, cause y'all are gonna hear what gasoline draws on. This is for the haters that's dissing my God. Get ready cause your life gonna get hard. And you can call the other haters on the phone, cause y'all are gonna hear what gasoline draws on.
For the folk that's trying to squeeze God out the picture, I see you still got the devil still living with you. Man, oh man, how dense can you be? This this world would never survive without G.O.D. I often wonder why God don't terminate the haters. You know the perpetrators, Jesus haters, instigators, and leave the people with the heart and mind to serve thee. That always boggled my mind and disturbed me. I'm gonna rap about God till the day I die. That's right, I say God, you offended, right? God, that's the one you should be concerned about, and not the sanctified words coming from my mouth. And who are you to say acknowledging God is wrong? You need the Bible smacked straight across your dome. I'm getting sick and tired of wrongdoers running the world. When offended, they cry like baby girls.
This is for the haters that's dissing my God. Get ready, cause your life about to get hard. And you can call the other haters on the phone, cause y'all are gonna hell with gasoline draws on. This is for the haters that's dissing my God. Get ready, cause your life gonna get hard. And you can call the other haters on the phone, cause y'all are gonna hell with gasoline draws on.
God is good and God is great. I thank you, Father, for the food on my plate.
Hold on, kids, you can't publicly say your grace. You might start some ignorant foods to demonstrate. Outside the restaurant you're trying to eat in, you know them antichrist and blowhard that's full of sin. Remember Sodom and Gomorrah when God said enough. Keep dissing God and watch you blow this mother up.
This is for the haters that's dissing my God. Get ready, cause your life about to get hard. And you can call the other haters on the phone, cause y'all are gonna hell with gasoline draws on. This is for the haters that's dissing my God. Get ready, cause your life gonna get hard. And you can call the other haters on the phone, cause y'all are gonna hell with gasoline draws on.
Makes me who I am, but not who I wanna be. I'm not so sure I like what I see. Still it is what it is. It's still me. You're my destiny to repeat myself. I've been trying so damn hard to kill the pain. You're my destiny to be nothing else. God, can you come on down and help me turn the page? And tell me why am I so damn hard to love? Is it my heart, my head, my body? I give up. When I'm 6 feet down, will I finally figure out love? When I'm 6 feet down. Chapter 2's a little different than the first. This journey's pulled me through a crazy maze we call life. Opportunities, they've come my way, and I've passed them by with my crazy head, my mind, and my foolish pride. Destined to repeat myself. I've been trying so damn hard to kill the pain. Am I destined to be nothing else? God, can you come on down and help me turn the page? And tell me why am I so damn hard to love? Is it my heart, my head, my body? I give up. And when I'm 6 feet down, will figure out love when I'm 6 feet down. I'm not so sure about chapter 3. I'm just now coming round the bend. I could spend more time swinging from those monkey bars. I could spend a lot more time with my friends. Am I destined to repeat myself? I've been trying so damn hard to kill the pain. Am I destined to be nothing else? God, can you come on down and help me turn the page? Help me turn the page. Help me turn the page. Help me turn the page. Why am I so damn hard to love?
Hi, this is Anne-Marie Harpin, and you're listening to Culture Warriors and the Fan Jam with my good friend and host, Lisa Mae Norton.
All right, hi everybody, once again from the Jimmy Z Studios right here in Jimmy Zville. It's Jimmy Z and the Big Fat Jimmy Z Show right here at thejimmyzshow.com. Oh boy, I love that. You know, that's the one I use. I don't do any more live burping on the show because some of that was turning out to be a little bit too much for people. And I can understand. No, nobody wants to hear that right up close on the microphone. But this one, this is so comical. It's not even like a real burp. It's like political commentary. Who's that? Barack Obama? All right, I've got a new song, and it's not my song. It's a song parody I found on YouTube, and it's really good. It's a parody of an old American folk song, Big Rock Candy Mountain, and it's really good. So what I'm going to do is play that as we go into the first break later on this hour. So once again, it's the Jimmy Z Show, rapid fire news and commentary. Yeah. Oh, that's good. That's really good. That's better than gunfire. Okay, I've already lost control of the program, and I just got started. So I don't know if there is a program here today. I don't know the direction we're going to go in, because obviously I'm in kind of a goofy mood. You know, I'm looking at Facebook right now, and I see one of these stories, and I'm amazed. Not amazed, I'm disgusted by the kind of crap that some conservatives feel that they need to share. This is I'm not going to put this in the show notes. You can look it up if you want, I guess. Vine of Life News. And I'm going to add this to my list of fraudulent websites that only publish hoax and hysteria articles. The headline here, the U.S. government says it's time to make war on the populace. God. And conservatives think, oh yeah, I got to share this on Facebook. I got to share this on Facebook. My friends got to know about this because the government is going to make war on the American people. Good Lord. Come on, people. You can't believe this crap. Honest to God. So I've got a list here, and I post it occasionally at Facebook, on my Facebook page. This is a list of fake news sites, and it keeps growing. Now, there's a couple of these that are satire sites, but there are so many people who don't understand what satire is, and they publish articles from these websites that are satire, and the people share those satire stories on Facebook as if they're real stories. So I included those kinds of websites in this list as well. But most of these websites are spreading manure, and they know it. Most of these websites write fiction on purpose to get people wound up. The first two are the worst: InfoWars and Prison Planet. There's also Lou Rockwell, Before It's News, Natural News, South Web, WorldTruth.tv, Real Pharmacy, spelled F-A-R-M, The National Report, The New American, Alternet, The Daily Sheeple, From the Trenches World Report, Gonzo Globe, IntelliHub, that's a real bad one, IntelliHub, Veterans Today, English.RUV Times, that's a really bad one, the EU Times, is all hoaxes. That's what they write, hoax stories. Where did I leave off? Chronicle.su, Top Info Post, The Controversial Files, well, you could tell right there from the name, Red Flag News, that's another bad one, Hang the Bankers, Underground Health, Conscious Life News, Why Don't You Try This.com. All right there, you know. The Rand Paul Review, Counter Psyops, Gulag Bound. There's another name. You know, when the people, when the writers, when the name of the website is talking about gulags, you know you're dealing with a radical hoax and hysteria website. Health Impact News, westernjournalism.com. That's another bad one. Political Blind Spot, Global Research, freepatriot.org. That's another bad one. DeborahJMSmith.com. No, I'm kidding. She listens every now and then, so if she hears that, she's going to go through the roof. No, I'm totally kidding. DeborahJMSmith.com and InformingChristians.com. Great websites. The Common Sense Show. No, that's a bad website. The Last Great Stand. That's a bad website. Natural Cures, Not Medicine. That's a conspiracy and hoax website. The Right Planet, Daily Current, Federalist Press, Eagle Rising. That's another one I found to be really annoying. Freedom Outpost, The Daily Paul, Newsmax, and I'll tell you why I've included Newsmax here. I got an email a couple of weeks ago. I was on the Newsmax notification list. And I got this email, and it was all about getting behind closed doors and making sure that nobody could see what you were reading, because this was really dangerous stuff. And I guess I didn't talk about this. I looked on my website, and I can't find it. And so maybe I didn't. But they sent out the most offensive piece of crap advertising email, filled with conspiracy crap. And if they're going to, I don't care if they put it on their website or not. If they're going to promote this crap, I put them on the list. Newsmax is promoting conspiratorial hoaxes and hysteria through these kinds of advertisements. So that's Newsmax. DC Clothesline. Above? Something like that was there. Oh, the Common Sense Show. It Makes Sense blog. That's another one. And now Vine of Life News. These are all websites that should be avoided 100% of the time. Okay, we've got plenty to talk about on the show here today. And I didn't, it was time that I thought was well spent to go through that list, because a lot of people don't realize that these websites are spreading manure. And so I want you to know. And if you have any questions, feel free to write me at jz@thejimmyzshow.com. Now, let's go into Hawaii. I love Hawaii, mostly because it's beautiful. But Hawaiian politics are like many blue states' politics. And the legislature in Hawaii has passed the same-sex bill that's been floating around, and now the governor is going to sign it. So once again, we have another state that is doing what the people in that state don't want, because the people of Hawaii are against this. The politicians, the liberal Democrat politicians, are doing what they want because of their agenda to normalize homosexuality. And they don't give a rat's behind what the people of Hawaii say, how the people of Hawaii feel about this. There were major protests against all this, and the lawmakers could give a flying fig. So once again, you have the lawmakers doing whatever the hell they want to, and it doesn't matter what the people say. The people have no voice. The government doesn't care what you think, no matter what state you're in. And I think a long time ago, the gay crusaders realized that the people are against this. And so they decided that state by state, they're going to go through the legislature and make this happen, with lawmakers, not the voters. There's an article and a lot of material and information at Mass Resistance. That's the pro-family activist website based in Massachusetts. Unprecedented outpouring. Over 1,000 Hawaiian citizens testify at massive State House public hearing on gay marriage. There were 5 days of testimony, and 90% of the people there opposed same-sex marriage. Immediately after the testimony ended, the committee ignored all that testimony and voted 18-12 to move the bill to the full House. Insulting comments by committee members followed. And this all happened on October 31st. It was posted on November 12th here at massresistance.com. It was, by many accounts, the largest public hearing in Hawaiian history. Over the 5 days of testimony, over 1,000 people testified before the committee. A total of 5,184 people had registered to testify, but most could not wait for several days before being called. More than 24,000 written testimonies were submitted. Approximately 90% of the testimony was against same-sex marriage. And get this, it was at least 10 times as big as any homosexual marriage State House public hearing we've seen across the United States. There was an unusual outpouring of passion by regular citizens. This was a truly unbelievable show of civic passion. Hawaii is often rated last in America in voting and political participation, but the outrage across the state from Hawaiian citizens against homosexual marriage is greater than anything we've ever seen. And still, the legislators in Hawaii said, "Screw you, we're doing it." People came from the various Hawaiian islands to Oahu and often waited for days to testify, often at great expense and personal sacrifice. The fact that they could only testify for 2 minutes did not deter them. School children missed school to testify against it. There were reports of people being fired from their jobs for taking time off. People got their cars towed away. Crowds of people sat in the halls of the State House and in the courtyard outside night and day, waiting for their turn to speak. It appeared that the overwhelming majority had never testified at a public hearing before. How sad is this, that the politicians in Hawaii could give a flying fig about these people and the way they feel about their state and about same-sex marriage. In fact, an unusually large percentage of the testifiers were young people, students and young adults, who were visibly fearful and upset about how the imposition of homosexual marriage on society would affect them and their future children. Unlike with the organized homosexual groups, there was no well-funded single statewide group organizing people against same-sex marriage. Instead, individual churches, pro-family groups, and some outstanding activists worked in concert with each other. They used social media heavily. They kept citizens across Hawaii notified and helped them at every step. As expected, people talked about religious values and God's law. The confusion, homosexual marriage, it seems to reflect a sense of arrogance, obviously, and a lack of transparency by the liberal politicians who appeared to be interested only in pleasing a special interest group. That's the way it always works. Politicians are endlessly pandering to homosexual groups. And why? They're only 3% of the population. Don't believe this crap about homosexuals being 10% of the population. They are barely 3%. Closer to 2.5%. Here are some of the problems with the bill and the process. Bait and switch. Get this. You're not going to believe this. Back in August, the governor unveiled his homosexual marriage bill for the upcoming special session. But a few days before the Senate hearing, the governor substituted a different version that, among other things, drastically changed the rules for religious exemptions. Meaning that you're going to see religious persecution for anyone preaching that homosexuality is a sin. Number 2, unconstitutional. In 1998, the people of Hawaii voted for a constitutional amendment that they understood banned homosexual marriage. The legislature seems to be using an unusual interpretation of that law to create homosexual marriage anyway. Criminy. It's unbelievable. And it goes on like this in every liberal state. It doesn't matter what the people want. Number 3, these are the problems with the homosexual marriage bill and the process to get it passed. Let the people vote. People want to vote. The people of Hawaii want to vote on this just as they did with the constitutional amendment, and not have 76 elected officials decide this for 1.4 million people. But the legislature is completely ignoring that. Number 4, being rushed through in a special session. People think a bill of this magnitude should go through the normal legislative process during a regular session. Instead, it is being pushed as fast as possible during a special session. Of course, they don't want to give people time to react. And even if they do react, they don't care. You know, I can't possibly read all of this because it's a very in-depth article. But I am going to play some audio here. This is a native Hawaiian expressing the outrage that many people across the state have over this.
Yes, sir. Thank you. It's amazing. Read the bill. You have violated and will violate it if you pass the bill. Section 23 of the Hawaii Constitution. You will violate Section 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. I don't have time because you're only giving me 4 minutes. But check this out. You know what I mean? Oh, 2 minutes. Oh, 2 now. Hey, check this out. Yeah, I live in Aloha, but as a citizen now, because as a Hawaiian, I tied up. As a citizen, I tied up. My senator, Donna Makaro Kim, said no, but 24-4 lose. We're going to lose here. I already know, because God spoke to me. But check this out. Now, who being bullied? Who being bullied here? Who being bullied? Who being bullied? 1.4 million people. Who being bullied? Who being bullied? 1.4 million people, and not even 100,000. Look, my sister is of that lifestyle. I love my sister. I love my sister. She know what I believe, and I love her. So don't tell me, unless she been there. I love my sister. But check this out. Now, as a citizen, I tied up again. Why? Because 76 people plus 1, all of you, 51 House, 25 Senate, says to me, you got to listen to me, Nathan, not I to you. 76 people plus 1. Because I was deceived with trick or treat today. I was deceived in 1997. I was deceived in 1998. The law was so big that give you 76 people the right to vote, plus the governor. I was deceived. But don't tell me about a law. I am Hawaiian. I live here 55 years. I am Hawaiian. Don't tell me about equal rights. Now tell me about what my people like. They voted almost 70% to 30% against. And what? Who's being bullied now?
Thank you very much.
Okay, that's wow, that's an amazing testimony. That's a passionate testimony. That's coming from the heart. And I've got some, I just dubbed 7 pieces of audio here. And it's all amazing. But of course, all of these people were ignored. Let me start the show officially right now, because I always feel discombobulated if I don't start the show right. And I'll be right back and we'll play more of this. I'm Jimmy Z. The Big Jimmy Z Show continues.
Hey, check this out, yeah? I live in Aloha, but as a citizen now, because as a Hawaiian, I tied up. As a citizen, I tied up. My senator, Donna McConnell Kim, said no, but 24-24, lose. We're going to lose here. I already know, because God spoke to me. But check this out. Now, who being bullied? Who being bullied here? Who being bullied? Who being bullied?
It's good to know you're down with it.
Hour number 1785.
Jimmy? Ever heard of a little thing called the internet?
You've heard of HD radio, and you've heard of HD TV. This is HDZ.
Well, Lottie frickin' God! Jimmy Z.
This hour of the Jimmy Z Show is also heard on
the Planet Z Network, Right Talk Radio, Net Talk World, Ghostfighter Radio, Red State Talk Radio, Talk Stream Live, Automatic, WTSA Internet Radio, and TalkSuperstation.com.
Nationwide and around the world, Boss Talk Radio presents the Jimmy Z Show.
I like you, not the guy with the microphone. I like you.
Hi, everybody.
Everybody, Jimmy Z, the Big Jimmy Z Show right here at thejimmyzshow.com. If you want to contact the show for any reason whatsoever, my email address is jz@thejimmyzshow.com. And if you want to call and record your comments for playback on the next day's show, that phone number is 714-905-9591. We're continuing with YouTube videos of people testifying before a committee in the Hawaiian legislature about homosexual marriage and a bill that will end up making same-sex marriage legal now in Hawaii. Against the will of the Hawaiian people. Against the will of the Hawaiian people. This is the way Democrats do things. If they can't talk you into it, they will force you into it. We heard from a native Hawaiian who expressed in very colorful terms the raw outrage that many people feel across the state. Now we hear from another Hawaiian, a public school teacher who is strongly against the law and doubts the integrity of the committee.
Good evening. Alex Shimizu, 2563. I oppose SB1 and public school teacher, have been for the past 18 years. As a public school teacher, I am conditioned to always be looking for the main idea in things. And one of the things I noticed is that throughout these proceedings, there's been a common theme that has bound the LGBT community, the faith-based community, as well as you legislators sitting up there. The thing that binds us together is that we have a common fear. And that fear is that our voice would not be heard. We're all here fighting for our desire to have this bill passed or not passed, but underlying all of that is a desire that what we say would not fall upon deaf ears. That's our fear. That this is not just compulsory. That you're out there, you're listening, and that your minds are not made up yet. Our hope is that what we do and say here matters. That's what's at stake here. And I'm going to make a statement that I'm in opposition to this. With every fiber of my being, I oppose this bill. But I would rather lose my fight and be able to go to sleep at night knowing that my legislators went through the process with integrity. I would rather lose and sleep well at night rather than to win this fight, but knowing somewhere if I won, I was happy because my desire lined up with a hidden agenda. I wouldn't have peace because I'd win this fight, but what about the next fight and the next one after that? You have enough data from past voter history, from the testimonies. You know what the people want. Please do not corroborate our greatest fear. Please do not live it out. By hearing all of this and making your decision without hearing us, and having our worst fears come true. Let the people decide. Thank you.
A very well-spoken school teacher. And, of course, the people on the committee could give a rat's... Of course, the people on the committee, the politicians on the committee, couldn't care less about whatever he said. Next up, a researcher tells what happened in Massachusetts and describes the uncomfortable truths about homosexuality and transgenderism.
My name is Belinda Jacobs from the Christian Counseling and Research Centers of America, and I'd like to present some research on this issue. My number is 4858. This issue, actually nationwide, has been put under the guise of civil rights and there seems to be a misnomer between civil rights and equal justice. There is no scientific proof that a gay or lesbian person is gay or lesbian. It's actually an association, like choosing a Buddhist temple versus a Catholic church. And people, I work with gay, lesbian, bisexual, and they do convert and go straight. I have one man, the abuse is so extreme, but when he comes into church, he cries his eyes out. Anyway, I'm going to present decades of research on the optimal child rearing. This comes out of Geneva, Switzerland, and you can read it in an article under Gender Complementary and Child Rearing, and you're welcome to the article. Anyway, if we want to know which way our country's going or this state will go, let's look at Massachusetts, which is a train wreck for the homosexual community, unfortunately. 30% increase in HIV and AIDS amongst the homosexuals from 2000 to 2009, although there is a downward general trend for the general population. Hey, this is saying the truth. It's facts and figures, no religious bias. The porn industry does not have these alarming numbers. Large portions, 5.5 budget item, gay domestic violence programs. What's going on in Massachusetts? Would you like to raise your child into this scenario? Anyway, first-time blood donor, 60 times more likely to have HIV in the blood than the general population. 800 times more likely than first-time blood donors. 8,000 times more likely than repeat donors. Okay, that's why they may not give blood. My daddy's name is donor. Famous research. This is landmark fundamental research. Sperm donor children do not fare as well as even adoptive children. So there's new strains of HIV apparently. If you are doing a just society, you are going to protect the people of Hawaii.
Thank you very much. Next, please.
You are going to protect the children of Hawaii. Thank you.
You see, these people on the committee, they can't wait to get rid of these speakers. And as soon as it doesn't even matter if you're in the middle of a thought. As soon as the 2 minutes is up, Thank you. Shut up. Thank you. But these are fantastic. These people are great. This woman in the next video talks about the danger of small radical minorities holding so much power over the citizens of the state of Hawaii. And of course, this would be applicable in any state, or in the United States, for that matter, against the federal government.
Good afternoon. My name is Lisa LeBrun, and I live in Waikiki. I have been here, just as you have, for many hours. And I am very upset right now that there are literally more clerks here than our representatives, our senators. I say that with respect. My husband and I have lived overseas for over 20 years. And this is the first time in my married life that I have been back in the United States. People have died for us to have the right to have these freedoms. I lived in Germany, in the very area where the epicenter of Nazism was founded and thrived. History shows us the horrors that occurred because of a very small minority that was given too much power, because the majority either remained silent or were silenced. I want to divert from my written testimony and say the people of Hawaii will not be silent on this issue. If it becomes law, we will not be silent. Amen.
Wow, she was great. I wish I had her name. I'd like to give her credit. That was really good. I got a chill listening to her. The next woman is an Asian woman. She's a wedding planner, and she talks about how she will be forced out of business if homosexual marriage becomes law.
I am a wedding planner, and this Senate Bill 1 will affect me personally, and I feel, as I understand the bill, as it is written, that it will infringe on my First Amendment right in the Constitution to, say to potential clients, hey, you know what? I'm uncomfortable with what you're asking me to do, but let me refer you to someone else. I won't be given that right with this bill. That's my understanding as it is written. My third point is that, yes, in 1998, we gave the legislators, the power to decide for us. But even though I flew from Kauai, I actually live in Hauula. And in Senatorial District 23. And when Senator He decided to run for office, he told us that he would have our best interest at hand. And I personally coordinated bus loads of people from our district who were opposed to this bill. And there were thousands of our district here to oppose. Kahuku, Laie, Hauula, Ka'aaba, Kahana, Kaneohe.
Can you
thousands. Okay.
Go ahead and finish your point.
My fourth, and so that's another flaw right there. We gave him the power to decide for us, but he's not listening to us.
Okay.
That's a flaw. Okay, my fourth point is, on the North Shore, we go to a lot of hearings. And, there's hotels that want to be built. And when they introduce all these things, they are mandated to provide EIS, environmental and impact statements before a bill can be passed or before permits. And I think we should have a human rights impact statement provided by the people who have introduced this bill.
Thanks so much.
To tell us what the impact is on human rights, which is just as important as environmental effects on us.
Any other?
Okay, that woman is expressing her concern over being able to do business once the governor of Hawaii signed same-sex marriage into law. Next up is Tito Montez. He is the head of the Hawaii Republican Assembly, and he pulls no punches in his testimony.
I know you guys have been listening to a lot of testimony over the last few days. I want to tell you that I'm in opposition of SB 1 for a lot of reasons, but I'm not going to argue in front of you theological reasons because many of you have no religion. A lot of you who do are willing to sell it out. I'm not going to make any illogical or logical arguments about what you guys do because, frankly, the legislature makes a lot of illogical and irrational decisions. I mean, you guys pass more bills to protect animals than you do for children. I'm not going to go ahead and talk about all of the empirical evidence that has happened throughout the United States and the states that have passed same-sex marriage and all the deleterious effects. And no, the sky doesn't fall right away like it will tomorrow or anything like that. It is a slow burn of how our schools get polluted, churches come under attack, privacy rights go out the window, parental rights go out the window. I'm not going to argue any of that because I've already been told by the governor's deputy chief of staff, Blake Oshiro. He said it on the news. Oh, these things will never happen. Well, think again. So I'm not going to rehash all those things over to you again. The only thing that I will appeal to is to let you guys know that you will, if you vote yes for this, you will be on the wrong side of history and the people will not forget. Thank you.
Boy, there's a lot of impassioned speeches here. That's great. Tito Montez, head of the Hawaii Republican Assembly. Now, next up, the head of the Hawaii Police Union testified against the bill in the strongest terms. In most places we've observed across the country, police departments long ago caved in on the homosexual issue. It's no longer unusual to see police marching in homosexual pride parades and being demonstrably anti-family in their actions. But in Hawaii, the president of the Hawaii Police Union testified against the homosexual marriage bill in the strongest possible terms. Honolulu police officer Tanari Maifala, and I apologize if I messed up the name, also is the union president, and he testified as well.
I'm just a humble servant, just loving the people of Hawaii, or visitors alike. No doubt, I've received a lot of criticisms, like many of us here in opposition of this bill. We have family members who are on the other side that have this lifestyle, but guess what? In Hawaii, we don't call them gay, we don't call them mahus, we call them cousins, brothers, sisters. So yes, sir, I'm here against opposition, against many friends and families, but I stand by my beliefs. I'm not going to let any man, woman, or child tell me how to believe, how to pray, and how to live my lifestyle.
Being that you were, as a career policeman, you testified that this will turn you into a lawbreaker. You're going to arrest yourself after this thing goes through, or what?
No, sir, I'm going to arrest people. Well, let me step back. Like I said, first and foremost, as a law enforcement officer, as I stand before you, I respect and honor all laws as a law enforcement officer. As a citizen of 52 years in this beautiful island state, I'm a law-abiding citizen. The same values I teach my wife, my children, my 10 other siblings, and the 40 or so nieces and nephews and 19 grandchildren for my mom. The bottom line is this. The day I retire and bills like this are introduced, I will never, ever honor such law. You would have to kill me to disrespect and dishonor my Father in heaven. You would have to kill me to impose these type of laws upon my children and my nieces and my nephews. That's what I'm saying. I can understand, again, prematurely when this was first introduced, a lot of you had already showed your hands, which side of the fence you stand on, whether you're supporting this bill or not. And then here, in this whole hearing, this last week or so, I've been here just as long as you have, and maybe even longer than some of you have. But again, like I said, I feel for all of you, that this has been imposed upon you by the governor, his chief of staff, and then the AG, who only can give answers of, I believe, but never I know in fact. I think. Come on. You're the highest paid legal advisor in this state. Come with some answers that are emphatic, that are facts, and not something that, well, I believe so or I think so. Even as an officer in doing my cases, I would never tell a victim of a case or even a suspect is based on facts, probable cause, just cause. That Attorney General should abide by the same thing. So unfortunately for all of you, by the will of the governor, you have faced the wrath of the people, both sides of the fence. And like I said, the injustice has been served on the LGBT people. You guys have not given them a chance to put something on the table to address their needs. And then if we're talking about parliamentary rules, majority does rule. As a union president, that's how I run business, based on Robert's rules, a majority rules. Yeah, there's a flip side from a humanistic standpoint. If you're talking majority, majority doesn't always prevail. It's true. For the minority, we as government leaders, we listen to what the majority has said, but we also listen to what the minority are saying as well. We're not oppressing them.
Specifically, about whether or not he would arrest himself when homosexual marriage becomes legal, because he's against it, and he stands against it. That's an amazing... Think about that. That's an amazing question in the first place. But then his answer is epic. I want to play it again.
Being that you were, as a career policeman, you testified that this will turn you into a lawbreaker. You're going to arrest yourself after this thing goes through or whatever.
No, sir, I'm going to arrest people. Well, let me step back. Like I said, first and foremost, as a law enforcement officer, as I stand before you, I respect and honor all laws as a law enforcement officer. As a citizen of 52 years in this beautiful island state, I'm a law-abiding citizen. The same values I teach my wife, my children, my 10 other siblings, and the 40 or so nieces and nephews and 19 grandchildren for my mom. The bottom line is this. The day I retire and bills like this are introduced, I will never, ever honor such law. You would have to kill me to disrespect and dishonor my Father in heaven. You would have to kill me to impose these type of laws upon my children and my nieces and my nephews. That's what I'm saying.
Wow. You know what? That is what this song is about.
With the cross of Jesus.
I didn't realize I was mic'd up. Oh, that's funny. That's stupid. That sounded great. That was a great segue there. All of a sudden, I realized, wait a minute. I think the mic is on. That's the Cretans. And boy, I'll tell you, that sounds like the Ramones to me. Onward Christian Soldier. And that is what that guy, what that police officer and the head of the Hawaii Police Officers Union, that guy has big steel ones. That's pretty incredible. Okay, I've got another video here. I have not heard this yet. When the chairman of the committee, Representative Carl Rhodes, arrogantly demeaned this woman's concerns, she held her ground and stood up to him brilliantly.
Good evening, Ms. Singh. Thank you for being here this late hour. Ms. Singh, if you don't mind me asking, how old are you?
25.
25. Okay, you were very passionate in your testimony. You and your group, you guys are making posters and all of this stuff. I mean, what's the big deal? I'm just like, I don't understand, because it's like I keep being told that, why is there this distrust in government from your generation?
Well, okay, so I've been voting since I was like 18. I never really got involved other than just putting my vote down, you know, for my legislators and whatever else. But when we kind of, like, me and my group of my friends, you know, like, we heard about the same-sex marriage stuff, you know, and our church told us to, like, look into the bill. You know, they didn't tell us what to do about it, but we looked into the bill. And, like, when we read it, we were kind of, like, horrified, and we didn't really understand what was going on. And so we kind of created a group to understand what was happening, you know. And, like, our group grew really big, really fast. And a lot of us, I guess, like, I think a lot of us, like, really believed in democracy, because that was kind of what we learned, you know, like, when we grew up in school and stuff. They taught us, you know, like, this is what happens through the democratic process, you know, and we vote for our legislators. They represent us. They hear us, you know, and, like.
But Ms. Singh, this is the democratic process.
Yeah, so I know.
Wait, no, so, excuse me, wait. So I'm just trying to understand. So can you please explain? Because some would argue that this is the democratic process. So I'm just trying to understand from you and your friends, why is it that you felt the need, or, you know, I'm hearing a lot from your generation that this is about distrust in government and all of that.
Okay, so we've established that you mistrust government. Is there a question that has something to do with this bill?
Okay, so.
Well,
oh, sorry.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Well, like, as we, like, went through this, you know, and, like, a lot of us were kind of horrified by what happened, you know, like, and we didn't feel like our voice was being heard, you know, and, like, we did everything that we could, and we submitted our testimonies. We came here, we waited to testify, and, like, we came here and we thought that we would be heard, and that the representatives, you know, would, like, listen to us and represent our voice, and we don't feel like that is possible, you know. And I mean, we have people that came here, you know, like, they miss work, you know, to come here.
Okay, thank you very much.
Let me just point out that we're about 10 minutes away from our 51st hour of testimony. To my knowledge, there has never been a bill in the history of the state of Hawaii that has had a hearing this long.
This is our only hearing.
We hear you loud and clear. Now, whether everyone will agree with you in the end, I don't know yet. But everyone has gotten to say 51 hours worth of
none of the neighbor islands have testified because they can't. They can't come here, and this is our only opportunity for hearing. If it was a regular session, we would have another hearing after you made amendments.
Excuse me. We have bent over backwards to provide opportunities to testify on an order of magnitude that has never been witnessed in this state before. So
with all due respect, Mr. Chairman, we have not bent over backwards. The rules were.
Okay, let's move on. Any other questions? Okay, seeing none, next testifier.
Mr. Chair, I did have a question.
Representative Foley, please be quick.
Okay.
I have two quick questions.
Okay.
Are you being paid to be here tonight, Honora?
No.
Do you know that we're being paid to be here tonight?
I actually didn't go to work today, so I wouldn't miss my number.
But do you know we're being paid to be here tonight? Did you know that?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Next testifier.
Okay, I want to explain what happened there at the end. This particular committee member is probably against same-sex marriage, against this bill that is going to legalize same-sex marriage. By the way, the governor has signed it. So now the homosexual deviants, all of these depraved homosexuals, can party in the street in Honolulu tonight because homosexual marriage is now legal in the great state of Hawaii. But the reason this guy was asking her if she got paid is to point out that she is there taking all this time off of work so that she can speak her mind. Meanwhile, these lazy sons of a bitches who are complaining, this guy Carl Rhodes, I think is his name, he's the chairman, and he's complaining about 51 hours of testimony because the people of Hawaii want 2 minutes to speak their mind. And this guy, the chairman, Carl Rhodes, is complaining. We had to sit here for 51 hours. And he knew, the reason why he's complaining is because he knew none of this mattered. They were going to pass this, whether or not the people were for it or against it.
I do get to say something once in a while in this committee, and what I would say then, if you're saying that you would have preferred not to have 51 hours of hearings and it was all a waste of time, then we can shut the hearing down right now if you'd like to.
What a douchebag. What a scum-sucking douchebag. What a loser. Well, you know, if you're going to complain about having 51 hours of testimony, then we can shut this thing down right now. God, you just want to drill the guy. Boy, it's amazing. These politicians don't give a rat's ass what you think. They don't care. I looked it up, and somebody in one of the audio clips we were listening to mentioned that the definition of marriage amendment, whatever it was called in Hawaii, in 1998 was passed by a vote of 69.2% yes, 28.6% no. Let those numbers sink in. Nearly 70% of the Hawaiian people said yes, marriage is defined as being between a man and a woman. 70%. Less than 30% voted no. It was a wipeout. And so, of course, the homosexual activist community went to work, and they were not going to stop until they got what they got today. A liberal Democrat legislature forcing this on the people of Hawaii. A liberal Democrat governor forcing homosexual marriage on the people of Hawaii. I've got some quotes here on the Mass Resistance site from some of these committee members. This is Representative Kaniela Ing. He claims to be a Christian. I believe that we as Christians will begin to realize that homosexuality is rooted in natural law, just as God's law is. I believe that the writers of the biblical text had the knowledge that we do today about homosexuality. It would not be viewed as something you can simply repent from. Representative Jessica Woolley. I have never wavered in my support for equality. I feel obligated and very proud to vote yes, despite the fact that 70% of the people of Hawaii don't want this. Representative Greg Takayama. I interpret the right to pursue happiness as giving gay couples the right to marry if they wish. Representative Richard Onishi. For me, it's always been an issue of equality. And Representative Derek Kawakami. This bill has always been a bill about freedom for me. Now, these two committee members tried to talk some sense into the majority, but were unsuccessful. Representative Gene Ward. I'm very disappointed that you've changed the rules of amendments. As you've seen, I've stood up and I've given 3 amendments. They have not been able to be heard because of the overruling of the chairs, which I think is probably illegal. And Representative Mele Carroll said, I am sad because of all the people who came here and felt betrayed by the government because there was no transparency. We haven't looked at the unintended consequences. We haven't been given the time to just absorb the issue. I have to vote no because of the process. I got threatened by the LGBT community. Shame on you for doing that. Wow. Can you imagine? The lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender community threatened a politician? Isn't that classy? That's the whole show. I didn't intend that topic to be the whole hour, but it's too important. Until the next time, Jimmy Z from the left coast. Bye-bye for now, everybody.
The Jimmy Z Show.
Those guys are fast!
You know, down in New Orleans, they get a different kind of lifestyle. The food's a little different. The music's a little different. The men are a little bit different. Ah, but the women... before the Cajun moon, I'd have never gone down there. Among the bars of the waterfront and the men that just don't care. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I felt the music calling from deep within a dream. I stopped outside a doorway. The mist turned into steam. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I tried to breathe and walk on by, but the music clutched my soul. I shook my head and walked on in and pulled the dark door closed. I saw a gypsy on a stool, he wore a twisted grin. I caught his eye and I tried to smile. He said, son, that was your first sin. I puzzled what he meant by that, and I groped into a chair. The music came from nothing. There was menace in the air. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And someone put a drink down. It filled a dented tin. And when I took a gulp of it, the room began to spin. Yeah, yeah, yeah. My eyes began to clear, I fought the urge to stand. I knew this dark and strange affair had only just begun. Then I felt, before I saw, the beauty that could stun. I caught her eye and I tried to smile, cause I knew she was the one. open door that night, a kind of spirit surgery in a garden of the light. Yeah, yeah, yeah. She taught me more about myself than I wanted to be shown. The things that can bring ecstasy, things best left unknown. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And when I woke into the dawn, a hazy distant day, I prayed to all the gods I knew, but Lord, it was too late. Now I fight and I bear my pain in a war that can't be won. But before I die, I cannot lie low. She was the one. She was the one.
Rapper, High Caliber.
And now the Monica Crowley Show presents the weekly hip-hop wrap-up, starring High Caliber.
Harry Reid and Nancy Pelosi, Dianne Feinstein and Barbara Boxer, Bernie Madoff and Henry Paulson. First of all, let me set the record straight. First thing I learned is that with respect comes hate. And lately, I've been getting lots of both. Got fans and haters emailing from coast to coast. Half calling me a patriotic hero, the other half label me as a pathetic zero. One even call me a disgrace to humanity and label me a racist cause I listen to Sean Hannity. Pure insanity, chill with the allegations. We got bigger problems going on in the nation. There's a battle going on between God and Satan. I'm just telling y'all this cause it's my obligation. There's a war we're waging and time is wasting. Meanwhile the media manipulates the information. Mr. Conservative, the rap Ronald Reagan. This is my emancipation proclamation. All I wanna say is that they don't really care about us. All the terrorists overseas. All I wanna say is that they don't really care about us. All the enemies of liberty. Come on. All I wanna say is that they don't really care about us. All these foreign dictators. All I wanna say is that they don't really care about us. And all you America haters. The Dow's dropping daily and I find it ironic. Could this be a byproduct of Barackonomics? The situation is getting off the hook. Chef Obama's in the kitchen, cooking up the books. Now we got crooks in the Treasury Department. What did you expect, man? Our president's a Marxist. Who becomes the target? Rush and the others, thrown under the bus like Obama's grandmother. I'm really sick of listening to this hypocrite. And by the way, man, where the heck's your birth certificate? Maybe I'm ignorant because I'm blue collar. I don't know what it's like to spend a few $1 trillion. And please don't bother trying to explain. You've been lying since day one. Your policies are lame. High Caliber's the name. Modern day Abe Lincoln. And I'll be a conservative till I'm in my grave stinking. The drive-by media. Joe Biden and Rahm Emanuel. Lobbyists and Wall Street bankers. Communists, Marxists, and gangsters. Big shout out to Monica Crowley. What up, Monica? She really cares about us. All my conservative soldiers. Doing battle in the conservative Coliseum. All I wanna say is that they don't really care about us.
Okay, BigDogMusicMafia.com promo take 63. Are you ready, Sly?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right. This is a good one. Tape's rolling.
Wait, this is Sly. I'm I walk in the music market.
Cut. Sly, can you slow it down and enunciate?
What do you mean enunciate?
You know, pronounce your words.
If you mean pronounce, I pronounce. If you mean enunciate.
Never mind, Sly. Let's try it again. Take 64, BigDogMusicMafia.com. Rolling.
Wait, this is Sly. If I listen to music, I live in a big...
Cut. Sly, we have 63 good takes. We can splice them together and make one good commercial, but we just need you to say BigDogMusicMafia.com one time so we can use that. Ready?
Yeah, sure.
All right, tape's rolling.
Big Dog Music Mafia.
Cut. Can you slow down?
All right.
Tape's rolling.
Big Dog Music Mafia.
Cut. Sly, repeat after me. Big Dog Music. Cut. Sly, this is not working. We'll use you for another project, but we're going to bring in somebody else. Bullwinkle, get in there.
Hey, Rocky!
BigDogMusicMafia.com. Your home for conservative.
What if freedom was just a myth? What if the Constitution was dead? What if we betrayed these things long ago? What if we took in less in respect? What if they told us what to eat? What if they told us how much air to breathe? What if we weren't in charge of our own destiny? What if there were checkpoints and papers, please? What if we didn't live in a free country? What if our forefathers were alive today? What would they say and what would we tell our children if they aren't free? What if we don't wake up and see? What if we don't wake up and see? What if, what if, what if, what if, what if, what if, what if? What if freedom was just a myth? What if, what if, what if, what if, what if, what if, what if? What if freedom was just a myth? What if freedom was just a myth? Dear God, I pray with all my heart and soul that we never forget our ways. All we need is God and family and liberty. We are the land of the brave and free. Our children and they aren't free. What if we don't wake up and see? What if we don't wake up and see? What if, what if, what if, what if, what if, what if, what if? What if freedom was just a myth? What if,
myth? What if freedom was just a myth? What if freedom was just a myth? What if freedom was just a myth?
Alone at last. Now to upload some award-winning material to BigDogMusicMafia.com.
Hey, Squidward.
Patrick, how did you get in here?
Through the door. I think I broke your lock.
Well, go right back out. Can't you see I'm engaged in the conservative arts?
Ooh, are you gonna make money?
Money? Did somebody say money? Mr. Krabs, please. There's no money being made here. Now, will you take that big pink ninny and get out of here? I'm busy trying to be a cultural warrior. Cultural warrior? You'll never be a cultural warrior. You're too much of a crybaby. I am not a crybaby. I'm a cultural warrior. I'm one of the conservative artists. What a baby. Come on, Patrick. I'll show you how to log on to Big Dog Music Mafia. And you'll see some real cultural warriors.
Okay. BigDogMusicMafia.com, the home for conservative artists. They even spell dog like I do. D-A-W-G. Hey, Squidward.
Yeah?
What's a conservative?
Imagine no longer being tied down to your computer, but having the freedom to take live talk radio with you anywhere you go. TalkStream Live introduces our first ever iPhone application. The talk shows you follow now follow you. And your iPhone is now the fastest and easiest way to stay connected to the best talk radio on the internet. Let TalkStream Live transform the way you listen to radio. Listen to live talk shows 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Mobile talk radio from TalkStream Live. Now available in the iTunes App Store.
You're listening to Big Dog Music Hour on Liberty Bell Radio.
When I'm walking from the sun come up, my head was filled from wall to wall. So at certain times, a result of crimes against the individual. Intellectuals should have played it safe. Keep your advice, I'm gonna live it my way. Oh yeah, it's my life and I'm gonna live it my way. Stir that pot till the heat
smile. And I dream that I am with you for a while, yeah. Piecing through a plan to reach your heart, I'm figuring out a place to start. I believe in fate and all the signs. When I think I reach you, I fall behind. I'm sitting out, Georgia, I don't see you anymore. Georgia, my heart is on the floor. Georgia, you never leave my mind. Georgia, my love for you is blind. Oh, it's blind. I'm reaching to the depths, yeah, of my soul. And I'm trying to make you, oh, my own. Make you my home. Like I give up and let you fade away. Fade away. But I'm not gonna give up on faith now. I can see the road as clear as day. I wouldn't want it any other way. Close my eyes and I see a smile. And I dream that I am with you for a while. So now, Georgia, I don't see you anymore. Georgia, my heart is on the floor. Georgia, you never leave my mind. Georgia, Georgia, I don't see you anymore. Georgia, my heart is on the floor. Georgia, you never leave my mind. Georgia, my love for you is blind. Maybe I'm blind. Maybe I'm blind. Maybe I'm blind. Yeah. I can see the road as clear as day. I woke up to the sound of screaming strangers on a Tuesday morning, somewhere in the middle of a life. I think it was mine. The TV was blaring, the kids were swearing, terrorizing somebody's fine, young, beautiful wife. I think she was mine. There were overflowing laundry baskets and dirty dishes and bathtub water flooding out the bathroom floor. I thought to myself that I should get to higher ground before I drown. This house just don't seem stable anymore. So I'm calling across the universe, any alien will do. I'm stranded in a strange world. Can I get a room? Pick me up, it doesn't really matter, 'cause mothership, you're overdue. Can I get a rooftop girls in their tank-sized SUVs. Running every red light, tailgating every car, trying to get the kids to $1 million after school activities. Hockey, karate, baseball, dance, season the day in the sleep-deprived zombie trance. I need a safe place from the human race, a friendly star deep in outer space. So I'm calling across the universe, any alien will do. I'm stranded in the sage world. Can I get a rooftop rescue? Send a lifeline, send a ladder. Beat me up, it doesn't really matter. 'Cause mothership, you're overdue. Can I get a rooftop rescue now? Listen, I work double time, overtime, penciling sleep for a tiny little check that the government gets to keep. All for these sneaky little envelopes that multiply, crawling out of my mailbox to suck my checkbook dry. Cell phone, landline, water and heat, credit cards and cable, HMO and electricity. I'm drowning in a paper sea of debt, trying to make a living, feeling like certain death. So I'm calling across the universe, and the alien will do. I'm stranded in the strange world. Can I get a rooftop rescue? Send a lifeline, send a ladder. Beat me up, it doesn't really matter. 'Cause mothership, you're overdue. Can I get a rooftop rescue? 'Cause mothership, you're overdue. Can I get a rooftop rescue? Can I get a rooftop rescue? Just take a look down, 'cause I'm still looking up, waiting. I'm sending out my signal. Can't you hear my distress? Any day now, you're picking up my SOS. I'm sending out my signal. Can't you hear my distress? Well, any day now, you'll be picking up my SOS. I'm sending out my signal. Can't you hear my distress? Well, any day now, you'll be picking up my SOS. Any day now, you'll be picking up my SOS. Any day now, you'll be picking up my SOS. Any day now, you'll be picking up my SOS. Any day now, you'll be picking up my SOS. Any day now, you'll be picking up my SOS. Picking up my SOS. Any day now, you'll be picking up my SOS. Yes.
Liberty is an island in the middle of a treacherous sea. Jealous waves pound away at its shores relentlessly. They'll tell you it's for the good of mankind when they seize your property. Ooh, don't tread on me. field, and its rattle is ready to sound. When the boots of tyranny come storming in and send tremors through the ground, stand up for your life, your freedom, your land. Stand up for your family. Ooh, don't tread on me. Running up debt can put you on the hook for more than originally planned. You're taking a piece of your liberty and putting it in another's hands. Paper will fold, but not silver, not gold. How do you take your tea? Ooh, don't tread on me. Under the starry dome I've dreamt of that final cosmic flight. It isn't man who's endowed us with our inherent and inalienable right. Some say it's chance, some say it's fate, I say it's free will mixed with destiny. Ooh, don't tread on me.
Lay awake on a winter's night, thinking about all the people outside my door, looking for more. You know this world is a funny place where people hide and people face their fears, wondering why. I guess some things we'll never know. Where does a cute and babies go? That's when I felt your hand. This world was right again, my girl. Her hair, she makes me laugh, she makes me cry. There ain't no place where love can hide. I see the story in her eyes, my girl. I did my time in misery, then one day she set me free. I know where the river goes, through our hearts into the sea. We kiss the stars and dance under the moonlight all night long.
just like home. She reached inside and turned this stone to life. This life, my life, my girl. Up down at my uncle's dock. Mad dog hidden inside of the tackle box. Sun's going down, let's roll out to our favorite spot. Make the boat dance, laying on the bottom, back and forth, we'll start to rock it. Making ripples on the moon, loving you on the bayou, wrapped in a blanket like we want to. Still night, starlight, no clouds inside. Backwater rhythm moving me and you, sending waves across this lagoon, making ripples on the moon. Cypress trees coming up just around the bend, with our dealer's Becky pocket knife, heart carved in. Two bodies dropping anchor while we're drifting, slipping into some cage and kissing, heating up like this July evening. Making ripples on the moon, loving you on the bayou, wrapped in a blanket like we want to. Still night, starlight, no clouds inside. Backwater rhythm moving me and you, sending waves across this lagoon, making ripples on the moon. Up and down, 'cause we're making ripples on the moon, loving you on the bayou, wrapped in a blanket like we want to. Still night, starlight, no clouds inside. Backwater rhythm moving me and you, making ripples on the moon, loving you on the bayou, wrapped in a blanket like we want to. Still night, starlight, no clouds inside. Backwater rhythm moving me and you, sending waves across this lagoon, making ripples, making ripples on the moon. Hey, backwater rhythm moving me and you, wrapped in a blanket just like love will do. Drifting on the bayou, yeah, yeah, yeah. Whoa, it was on the moon, loving you on the moon.
Oh my God, I just found like the most totally awesome show on the entire internet. It's called Culture Warriors and the Fan Jam with Lisa Mae Norton, and she is like the most awesome chick ever. You know what I mean? So like all you have to do is send an email to fanjam@bigdogmusicmafia.com with the name of the artist and song that you like best, and it like gets played on the show. How totally cool is that? I'm going to be using all 10 of my votes for my favorite song and artist. You know what I mean? This is so easy, okay?
tastes like honey, why would you spit it out? Would you give it up for the money? Or how about political clout? Would you give it up for security in the face of a rising storm? Or would you face a danger, trade in your anger, unite and become one? If we never knew the taste of freedom, we would still instinctively know. Our souls would yearn to be our own, and our minds would yearn to grow. I'd hate that you were trodden down, locked up, if you should shout. Freedom tastes like honey, why would you spit it out? Freedom tastes like honey, melts across my tongue, and when it's gone it won't linger on, a bitter taste begun. Would you give it up for the medical bill, or a way to shut me down? Or would you pay your way, maybe learn to say, hey neighbor, I'll help you out? If we never knew the taste of freedom, we would still instinctively know. Our souls would yearn to be our own, and our minds would yearn to grow. I hate that you were trodden down, locked up, if you should shout. Freedom tastes like honey, why would we spit it out? Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light? Freedom, freedom, watching it slip away. Freedom, freedom, a little bit more each day. Now get off your butt right now, take a pledge, make a vow, call up your political hack, tell them you're not buying their smack. I said freedom, freedom, watch it slip away. I said freedom, freedom, a little bit more each day. If he's some overreaching judge, they're wrong and they're not gonna budge. Tell Congress you want justice back, Constitution's under attack. I said freedom, freedom, you gotta hear me, I said freedom, freedom is being taken away. Don't let them kick your neighbor off his land. This is where we gotta make a stand. The stewards of this land are mom and pop. The government couldn't run a soda shop. I said freedom, freedom, watch it slipping away. I said freedom, freedom, a little bit more each day. So you say I want a revolution, I say you need to pay attention. Freedom is worth fighting for. Freedom men have gone to war. I said freedom, freedom, watch it slip away. I said freedom, our freedoms, a little more each day.
That's why we party all together, so everyone gets treated right.
Kyle Warren.
All right, now, people of the earth, this is your president, the General Small, and Obamacare Commander-in-Chief, fighting for you to try to fix the website, which I'm not happy about. Not one tiny little bit am I happy about it, but I'm fighting for you because that's what we do in the Obama administration. And I want to rally you up, and I want to find out how angry you are about the website and stuff, which I'm angry about too. And, well, that's not all I can do right now. I'm going to make another speech. I'm going to get really angry about the website. All right, that is all.
All right, that is all. Welcome, everyone, around the globe and across the net. Kyle Warren with you. Glad to be with you, of course. Don't forget, email address, Kyle@KyleWarrenShow.com. That's Kyle@KyleWarrenShow.com. Pick up the podcast feed at KyleWarrenShow.com as well. I know, well, the real Barack Obama is always... he says he's always mad about the website. He's mad. He's, I'm not happy about it, and this kind of thing, and that's fine. So I guess our own fake Barack Obama is just taking this opportunity today to reiterate to you that he's mad about the website thing. The website thing is probably not going to get fixed anytime soon, especially by November the 30th. And again, we really shouldn't be having these kinds of conversations. I thought, once healthcare.gov rolled out and the Obamacare thing was just going to be a runaway train, and of course we found out it's a runaway train on its way to a train wreck, but it should have been a runaway train that was just going to, be a juggernaut of healthcare for all those people who didn't have healthcare, but now we're finding out that many of the people who don't have healthcare don't even want to sign up for healthcare. Meanwhile, over at least 1 million people, headline yesterday, 1 million people in California alone are going to lose their health coverage because of the Affordable Care Act. But guess what? As I'm sure that you've thought many times yourself, this new health care is not affordable. The old health care was barely affordable in many cases, but now it's certainly not for literally what is going to be millions of people. This is a travesty. But before we go any further today, folks, I want to mention, of course, about what we're seeing unfolding in the Philippines right now. And it is just absolutely devastating. Tears are being brought to so many Americans' eyes seeing what's happening. And I know that locally, your church, your place of worship may have programs or other kinds of ways that you can help financially and perhaps in other ways as well. Some churches even send teams to disaster areas to help those who are in need for their basic needs. That's the first priority here, getting people their basic needs. And of course, one way that you can help is you can go to the Red Cross and donate or go to another charitable organization of your choice that is doing good, that is helping the people there, and that is something that you can do. We can also pray for those in the Philippines, and just these stories are just devastating, as we've seen now for several days. And so again, this storm, some have called it the biggest that we have in recorded history, and it is literally just a heartbreaking thing to witness. So we can all pitch in, we can all do something to help our fellow human beings who absolutely need our help at this point in time. So I do encourage you to do that today, if you have not already done so. Okay, so let's get back to Obamacare. This from Washington Post. Well, actually, no, wait. I'm going to make an executive decision here, and I'm going to say no. We're going to go to the audio clip first. Jay Carney. Then we'll go to Washington Post. Talk about the healthcare website, which unfortunately is not going to be fixed. And, you have some who are saying, well, let it all just, crumble and this kind of stuff. And this is what it's doing, by the way. But at the same time, though, it's just more false promises, in my opinion. It's just more false promises and more of the same and more of we're going to fight for you to make sure you get affordable health care, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, when all the while this is just an incompetency gone wild. And I can't imagine somebody could put together a DVD of this, of all the stuff President Obama said up to this point. I just posted it on YouTube, and it would just be incompetency gone wild. And it's very sad because we're talking about real people. We're talking about real people who have real healthcare issues. We're talking about people who have cancer, people who are struggling with all kinds of diseases, people who are fighting for their lives. If President Obama really wants to fight for something, perhaps he would want to help people fight for their lives by making sure that they don't have to interrupt the care that they're getting now, that they are happy with, that they are satisfied with, that the doctors are actually helping them, and they are being kicked off or kicked out of their health care because they simply can't afford it anymore, and so forth. It would seem to me, my friends, that if President Obama wants to fight for us, you and me, regardless of political affiliation or any other boundary that we have in our society, if President Obama wants to fight for us, he should make a stand and say, I'm stopping this right now. Because he really right now is the only one who can. Otherwise, it's going to be, at some point, Obamacare is going to crumble of its own weight, its own inability to get funding for people signing up, or it's going to eventually be either massively delayed or it's going to be repealed because those representatives in the House and those senators in the Senate are going to be hearing from their constituents. They're going to be hearing about this, not just right now, but as the holidays approach, as we hit Christmas time and New Year's, and certainly after the first of the year, when all of this is going to be hitting the fan, they are going to hear the voices of their constituents, and they, in turn, are going to turn, I think, in a chorus and tell President Obama this has got to stop. So I think President Obama, if he wants to exercise leadership, sometimes a leader has to say, this was the wrong road to go down. We're going down a new road, or we're going to at least stop the damage that's being done to the American people and their health care and their peace of mind. You know, we hear about, trust in Obama, and how's his credibility going to fare with this? And I've talked about it myself, but here's the other thing too. The American people need peace of mind. They need to have some kind of confidence that the person sitting in the chair behind the desk in the Oval Office really does have their best interest at heart and simply isn't going to be saying, I'll make another speech, or, well, you don't like it now, but you'll like it later, etc., blah, 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 blah. And even President Clinton talking about, well, the president should honor his commitments. What? He said the healthcare law was overall good. Well, he said we needed the law. You know, we need this law. But as I said, he's hedging. As I said in the program yesterday, he's hedging because Hillary's going to have to run on some sort of fix Obamacare, or I could have done it right in the first place. If you elect me, I will redo Obamacare into Hillary care. And probably what they'll do is they'll just call it Bush care. Because if it works, fine. If it doesn't work, hey, what you expect, man? It was Bush care. We blame George Bush. Okay, so as I said, let's go to the audio clip. Jay Carney at the White House talking with our new best friend, everyone's new best friend in the world, John Carl of ABC News. You go, John. And I'm telling you, this guy... Everybody out there needs to write an email to ABC and say, you know, we appreciate what John Carl is doing. He's asking questions in the White House press briefing room, and just give him a kudos. I know you probably hear it in my voice today. I don't know. I'm don't have a cold, but I think I might be getting the beginnings of it. But I'm powering through because these things are way too important. And so let's hear Jay Carney with John Carl at the White House now.
Is the number of people who enroll going to be lower than those that have been receiving cancellation notices?
John, I would simply ask you to wait until the data are released. I think it's fair to say that the enrollment figures will be low, and we're going to be low anyway. They will be significantly lower because of the challenges posed by the faulty website.
Okay, stop right there. So he says, is the number of people who are enrolling essentially going to be lower than those who have received cancellation notices? Good question. Now, John Carl is not asking this question. My opinion is that he's not asking this question because he's wondering, gee, I wonder if they're going to have more people enrolling that have been canceled. No, I think he's asking this question to make the point. How many? Hundreds of thousands, and it'll be into the millions if it isn't already. You can add up state by state and so forth, but gee whiz, California clocks in with a whopping 1 million. It'll be in the millions. How many millions? We just don't know yet. Some estimates are ultimately 54 million people losing their health insurance. Ultimately, as a result of the Affordable Care Act. I mean, this is significant. This isn't, oh, well, it's just some 5%. Oh, yeah, don't worry about that. We're just going to, it really, I think Americans care about, because they cared in the first place. Obama went to the American people and they cared in the first place. There are people without health care. We have to have some kind of reform, some kind of way that they can get health care. And the American people said, that's a great idea. Let's do that. There are all these complex nuances to it and reasons why we should oppose the Obamacare in its form that it was presented and so forth. But the idea is not something Americans are absolutely adverse to because the American people care. But you see, we're supposed to, I guess, think, well, we don't care. It has to be imposed on us, and you have to be told to care for somebody or some other kind of weird thing like that. So the people, of course, who have lost their health care coverage are going to outnumber by far, literally, like the distance between the electron and the nucleus in the atom. It's going to be really far. It's going to really be really super far away of how much people have lost their insurance as opposed to those who are enrolling. So Jay Carney says, well, the data's going to not released. It's going to be significantly lower because of the faulty website. So let's hear John Carl's response.
What will that say? What kind of a message is that if more people have received cancellation notices than have actually been able to enroll? Okay, stop right there. First of all, that's a great question. We'll hear Jay Carney in a second. That's a great question. What kind of message is that? Well, it's the message of incompetence gone wild. It's just incompetence gone wild. In fact, can I get a big boomy voice on that? Incompetence gone wild. Yeah, that's about what it is. And and it's not funny because we're talking about they cannot administer it. You cannot centrally plan healthcare. You cannot do these kinds of things without real expertise. And how many people said, as soon as the website started crashing and going bad, how many people said, well, why didn't they hire Google? Or why didn't they hire somebody else? Or this kind of thing. And then suddenly we had to be bringing in the best and the brightest. The American people need to be asking the question, if this was that important, and we're going to take over 1/6 of the U.S. economy, and we're going to centrally plan all this stuff, and we're just going to go big government like you've never seen before, why wouldn't you get the best and the brightest first? This is just a nightmare. It's an absolute nightmare. Okay, so let's hear Jay Carney's response to, well, what kind of message is that, asked by John Carl.
Say that it would say two things. One, the history of these kinds of programs, and Massachusetts is the best model, show that enrollment is very slow.
He's saying enrollment is very slow early on. Yeah, it's just like Massachusetts. Yeah. And they're just dipping back into the campaign against Mitt Romney to try to say, hey, Obamacare is great because it had Romney care. Mitt Romney, we're just based off his model and all this kind of stuff. Well, it's just another deception. There is no way. There is no way to spin this that it's just low enrollment and nobody we just got to wait and this kind of stuff. We had a faulty website and this kind of thing. It's not the faulty website, and this is the nightmare scenario for the Obama administration. For example, they could bring in Google tomorrow. Let's just say that they did. I know they're bringing in experts and people in the industry and so forth right now, but let's just say, for the sake of argument, they could bring in a giant like Google, and a giant like Google can make this thing work and produce a perfectly functional, flawless website that interfaces with the IRS, which displays health plans that you could choose from almost virtually instantaneously, as Amazon does for products. Or I mentioned the other day, car parts. I had to get a car part. I had in a matter of a few seconds, thanks to my high-speed internet connection, right? I had several options and prices for the car part that I needed, virtually instantaneously. So imagine if you could have a healthcare website, healthcare.gov, that would do all these things, be absolutely flawless. Certain other facts, basic things would not change in this whatsoever. There would still be people receiving cancellation notices left and right into the millions. You would still have Americans who are now going to be worried, nervous, and lacking peace of mind in their government, in their looking to the future about having adequate health care and being able to afford it. And you would still have the idea that so many people, especially young people, are not going to sign up for this because it makes no sense for them to do that. You would still have the older and less healthy or sicker people being some of the only ones who are signing up for it. I don't blame them for signing up. That's what this is what they're trying to make it for. They're trying to get people health care. But they're not going to have the younger people paying into the system that's going to make the system operate. And you'd still have all these problems, even if you had a flawless website. That's the other shoe to drop. They can fix the website all the live long day, but it's not going to change the fundamental problems. Back after this.
You're listening to Kyle Warren.
Education and advocacy are the keys to preventing heart disease in Americans. That's why Diet Coke has joined the National Heart, Lung, and Blood Institute for the Heart Truth Campaign to help women and their families recognize their risks for heart disease and take the necessary steps to prevent it. Registered dietitian Katie Cavuto-Boyle explains.
Many women have been touched by the Heart Truth message. Knowledge is power, but it's time to put that knowledge into action. In the kitchen, in the gym, in your life.
Any good heart-healthy tips for women?
It is so important to be mindful of your food choices, to include whole grains, a variety of fruits and vegetables. Choose a no-calorie beverage. As important as diet is, it's just as important to make a commitment to being more physically active. Whether it be a walk after dinner, sit-ups during the commercial of your favorite show, just get up and get moving. It all adds up.
To learn more about the Heart Truth Campaign and what you can do to stay fit and heart healthy, log on to dietcoke.com. I'm Bob Tebow for the Consumer Radio Network.
Congratulations! You've become a success in the business world. You've set goals, and you've surpassed them. But now you ask yourself,
how can I muster the ambition and time to continue encouraging growth and still have time to enjoy life? Where did the excitement and ambition I once had go?
That's where we come in. High-level performance. Executive coaches that, simply put, in 3 years could help you triple your income, triple your fun, and triple your free time. Find out more at highlevelperformance.com. That's highlevelperformance.com. Highlevelperformance.com.
After a long, hard day in the rough and tumble world of politics, open a tall, cool Kyle Warren show. That crisp, refreshing taste, that smooth style, that effervescing attitude, and without all that other stuff that can, well, bog you down. Helping to put back what the daily media assault takes away, listen to the Kyle Warren Show weekdays right here on this station and visit the website at kylewarrenshow.com. This is the Kyle Warren Show.
1,
everybody. This is Bill. And listen, I love the show, but I also love the attention I'm getting from going out and saying, you know, we're better off with Obamacare, but you got to honor their commitment. Now I know. Now, believe me, hear me on this. I know that if I say we need Obamacare, then that's going to get me some cover, kind of get ready for Hillary to run for president and stuff like that. But at the same time, I know that I say if we need Obamacare, but yet the president has to honor his commitment, and that you can't kick off all those people and throw them into the exchanges, well, then it's not going to work. And I know that, and you know that. And so really, I mean, this is just, I don't envy Obama at all on this, but I got to tell you, he painted himself in a corner on that. And honestly, one phone call to me probably could have fixed it. I could have told him where the pitfalls were. And, well, whatever. I mean, you know what? Didn't want to nominate Hillary, so never mind. But I love you and I love the show. Thank you. Talk to you later. Bye.
Okay, I don't know what to make of that at the end there. Welcome back, everybody. Kyle Warren with you. Welcome back as we continue to race through and rocket through this Wednesday, November the 13th edition of the program. Now, what's he saying? He knows that if he says we need Obamacare, that gives him cover, but at the same time, by saying you're going to honor your commitment, it means that millions of people won't be kicked out of their health insurance and they won't get onto the exchanges and everything will collapse essentially. Yeah, that sounds about right. Once again, even fake Bill Clinton knows much more than real Barack Obama. Back after this.
Listening to Kyle Warren.
Heart disease is the number one killer of men and women in America. But did you know that just 30 minutes a day of physical activity can improve your health and decrease your risk of heart disease? An easy way to work physical activity into your regular routine is to start walking. For every hour of regular, vigorous exercise, you gain 2 hours of life expectancy. So start walking for yourself and for your heart. Start walking with your family. You'll feel better. Start walking with your friends. You'll live longer. Start walking in your community. You'll lead happier and healthier lives. Start walking. Start something. Join the movement today. For more information on the American Heart Association START program, visit startwalkingnow.org. And start walking. Start something.
Hi, I'm Tim McGraw. Every 2 seconds, someone in America needs blood. Accident victims, cancer patients, and individuals with blood disorders and other illnesses. They may live next door or up the block or across town. They're our neighbors. Yet only a small percentage of those who are eligible to give donate blood. A healthy blood supply comes from ordinary people, just like you and me. It's all about neighbors helping neighbors. Your gift of blood is needed now to help save lives. That's why I'm joining with my good neighbors at State Farm and the American Red Cross in the Neighbors Give Life campaign to raise awareness and to challenge you to donate blood. It only takes an hour of your time and can save the lives of up to 3 people. You can donate as many as 6 times a year, so make an appointment to donate at your local blood center and donate often. And won't you join me now in giving the gift of life? Be a hometown hero. Visit NeighborsGiveLife.com for more information about donating blood.
Obama will tax us, we will freely give. Obama, Obama, he will save the world. Obama will tax us, we will freely give. It's patriotic, give your money now.
You're listening to Kyle Warren.
All right, welcome back, everybody. Kyle Warren with you. Welcome back as we continue racing and rocketing through this Wednesday, November the 13th edition of the broadcast. Glad to be with you, of course. Don't forget email address, Kyle@KyleWarrenShow.com. That's Kyle@KyleWarrenShow.com. Pick up the podcast feed at KyleWarrenShow.com as well. Okay, we're going to jump back into the press briefing room at the White House Jay Carney again addressing questions regarding Obamacare and the numbers that are supposed to come out, I think, on Friday. These are the secret numbers which could not even be alluded to in the hearings, the congressional hearings. I can't tell you that. It's stuff like that. I mean, this is just ridiculously stupid. It's just crazy. And I don't, and people will say, yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy, all right. But the thing is, it really is. It's actually insane what we're going through here on this. And there's no way to spin the failure, not only of the rollout, but of the fundamental, foundations of Obamacare. There's no way to spin it. And because here's the thing, the president did spin it. He had been spinning it since the very beginning of the discussions of Obamacare. If you like your doctor, you can keep your doctor. If you like your health plan, you can keep your health plan. Nobody's going to do anything that's going to take that away, etc., etc., etc. And my friends, it has been, it's just a spinmeister phenomenon. So now, no matter what they do, and that was before Obamacare was actually known, we had to pass it to know what's in it, et cetera, so you could spin all you wanted. But now, there is no spin. There can't be. They're trying, and some people will try to spin it. A lot of that is diversion. Well, Obamacare doesn't work, it's fundamentally flawed, and the website doesn't work to boot. Well, but as you know, people need to have health care, and they need to blah, blah, blah. So we know that. But we're talking about the fundamental failures and flaws of Obamacare. So now let's go back to hear Jay Carney. There's one question, I think, from CNN, and then Jonathan Karl, everybody's new best friend, Jonathan Karl, also chimes in once again here. So let's hear that now, shall we?
Past. On those enrollment numbers, is the administration confident that those numbers will be accurate, given all the problems with insurers being able to sort through the data and figure out which applications are correct and properly submitted and so forth?
Well, I know that they're going to work very hard over at CMS and HHS.
Working hard.
Compile the data and present the most accurate data available. I think that's a good question in light of the fact that some on Capitol Hill have been demanding data daily, and we've made the point that, consistent with the release of data for other programs, it is in the interests of everybody to do this on a monthly basis so that the data is as accurate as possible. John.
Jay, you've been crystal clear the number's going to be low for the first month. Is there any number that would concern the White House? Is there any number that is so low?
Well, I can guarantee.
Okay, stop right there. Okay, good question, by the way. First of all, from CNN, Jim Acosta, is the administration confident the numbers are going to be accurate? Well, probably not. And do they care? Probably not. They got to throw something out there. You got to, and as I said, this is all spin. It's all about spin now. They have to spin it no matter what. If one person signed up, wouldn't it better that one person signed up than we didn't have the program? Whatever it is, 150 million people could sign up, and they'd spin it a certain way. How wonderful it was. One person signs up, and they'd still go with how great it is, and so forth. And so there's no failure from the White House. There's just, he's mad that the website doesn't work. But the next question from John Karl is also great. Numbers are going to be low. Is there any number that is so low? And Jay Carney begins to anticipate his question. But no, there is no number that's so low that would be an embarrassment, essentially, to the White House. They're just not. Even though it is embarrassing, they're going to honestly just spin it however they can. This president, most unfortunately, this isn't a Republican thing, it's not a Democrat thing, it's not a liberal or conservative thing. It is a leadership thing. In fact, that's what T-shirts need to say, or bumper say, it's a leadership thing. It needs to be about leadership, whether it's leadership of President Clinton or leadership of President George W. Bush, leadership of Ronald Reagan or leadership of John F. Kennedy. You have to have some kind of leadership. You have to have some kind of confidence that you instill in the public. Not a savior, sort of messianic, Obama is the chosen one type of deal, because that doesn't work in American politics. It might get you elected. It might, create a phenomenon or something like that. But it's not leadership. And that's the important issue here. So, no, there's no number that's going to make the White House go, oh, my goodness, because the ideologues in the White House, Obama, Valerie Jarrett, the ideologues simply cannot and will not, in my opinion, take any of this to heart. It matters not. How many millions of people are getting kicked out their health insurance? Well, tell them it's better. It's just be better. It'll just be better. This kind of thing. But that's not what they were told. That's not what they were promised. But you see, the ideology trumps everything. The ideology trumps everything. And that's where we're going to get into trouble. And that's where we've gotten into trouble. And it becomes so focused with such blinders on that the people who are driving the ideological transformation of America simply cannot see how destructive it truly is. We have a system for a reason. We have separation of powers, checks and balances for a reason. And what is becoming so crazy in this day and age is that by me uttering the idea that we have checks and balances and we have separation of powers for a reason is now quickly becoming considered radical and subversive. That is wrong. It's absolutely completely turned around.